Hi, boys and girls, this is Mark, and I'm very excited about this month's story. Let's begin. Sugartown was its usual exciting place. All the town was so happy to have their new chapel. The children gathered every night to hear Markie tell stories of Jesus. But what they didn't know was that for several nights the Jingle Bears had been hiding in the forest. They didn't come too close because they didn't want the children to hear them as they jingled by. When they did catch the Jingle Bears, the children would tickle them until they all ended up on the ground laughing. The Jingle Bears were stuffy and fluffy and giggled so cute, it was impossible for anyone not to laugh with them. Markie, why don't you come now?
Hi, gang! Back at Tiki Island, where all the Jingle Bears lived, Ringo Jingle, their leader, was trying to think of a way to tease the children. This is why he was the leader, because he has such a funny way of thinking of sneaky things to do. The plan was to take the chapel bell. It was made of rich chocolate, and that is what Ringo Jingle likes the best. We will bring it to the island and have a big celebration with it. It will be great fun, said Ringo Jingle. Then they all continued to discuss all the fun things they would do. Jingle Jangle spoke up and said, I don't think this is such a great idea. Why do we always have to do things to those nice children anyway? They don't do anything to us. Pipe down, Jingle Jangle, you old fuddy-duddy. You never want to have any fun. Of course they don't do anything to us, especially since that Lil Markie came to town. They all want to be so nice. But that's why we can have so much fun and get away with it, replied Jingle Jingle. He always likes to do whatever Ringo Jingle wants to do because he only has one jingle, and the more fun he has, the more he can jingle. Jingle Jangle didn't have a jingle, and maybe that is why he didn't feel like he was a part of the Jingle Bears. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't jingle, and he never thought the pranks they pulled on the children were funny. The loud roar of the other bears brought his thinking to a stop. As usual, they were making fun of Jingle for his goody-goody ideas. Jingle Jangle lowered his head and slipped away from the crowd, wondering what he could do to be happy.
The Jingle Bears spent the rest of the day making preparations for the big celebration that was to take place the next day. But not Jingle Jangle. He spent his time figuring out how he could help the children. He remembered being hidden in the forest watching the children as they were building their chapel, and he knew how proud they were of it, and yet he also knew that if they found the chocolate bell missing, they would be so sad.
That night, after the story time, we all went to our homes to bed. The Jingle Bears sent Jingle Jangle in to see that we were all asleep. You see, gang, he was the only one who could sneak in and out and not be heard. Then, without any of us knowing, the Jingle Bears crept into town and took our bell from the chapel steeple. When they reached the edge of the shore of Tiki Island, Ringo Jingle placed a couple of trusty guards at the dock where the large pineapple boat was tied. They left the bell there for safekeeping until it was time for the celebration the next day. Now it was time for Jingle Jangle to do some fast work. He hid out of sight until very late, watching for the guards to get sleepy. Jingle Bears have a hard time staying awake at night because that is their favorite time to sleep. They love to curl up and be cozy and dream of the berry patch. That's what all good Jingle Bears dream of. Jingle Jangle had taken a nap so he would be ready for his busy night's adventure. When Jingle Jangle thought it was just the right time, he put his plan to work. He had brought some berries from home and some warm strawberry milk. He quietly walked up to the guards and greeted them with a cherry. Hello! And just what are you doing here at this time of night? Asked one of the guards. Well, I thought you might be ready for a snack attack, so I brought you one, replied Jingle Jangle, trying hard not to let them know how scared he was. "Here," he said as he began to pour the strawberry milk. "Have some. It's your favorite." The guards, too sleepy to think, both took the milk and berries and gobbled them down quickly. It didn't take but a minute for the already very sleepy bears to become sound asleep bears. Everyone knows that warm strawberry milk makes you fall asleep quickly. But the guards must have forgotten that night, and so Jingle Jangle's plan was well on its way to working. Jingle Jangle jumped quickly into the boat with the chocolate bell and headed quietly for Sugartown. When he got to the edge of the dock, he tied up the boat, picked up the bell, and started his long but happy trip to the chapel. He was always happy when he did something nice for someone. Jingle Jangle had never been by himself before. The bears had sent him on a lot of missions, but he never felt alone because they were hiding somewhere close by. But tonight, he was really alone. And was he frightened? Another thing Jingle Bears like, besides sleeping, is being cozy to someone. And never alone. So this was a real brave thing that Jingle Jangle was doing. Very brave indeed. Soon he reached the chapel and climbed his way up to the steeple. It was difficult for him to climb and to carry the bell at the same time. He almost dropped it once, but finally was able to put the bell back in its proper place. Jingle Jangle had brought a honey stick, a favorite snack, and used it to stick the bell in place where it could not be stolen again. As he was coming back down, he lost his footing and bounced right off the marshmallow roof and landed with a yell right on his head. He hit the ground so hard that it knocked him into a deep sleep. Jingle Jangle awoke in the squishiest bed he had ever slept in. I was standing at his bedside praying. "Hi," said a weak Jingle Jangle. "Oh, you're all right. I was praying for you. I found you on the ground beside the chapel. Why are you all by yourself?" I asked curiously. Jingle Jangle began his long and interesting story of why he came to Sugartown and how he fell on his head. "Why, I have never seen such a courageous Jingle Bear," I said, rubbing Jingle Jangle's forehead with a cool cloth. "I understand how you must have felt so out of place." And then I told Jingle Jangle about how I used to be so lonely and out of place until God brought me to Sugartown and gave me all my new friends. I told him all about Jesus and how he makes me so happy. "But I'm a misfit," cried Jingle Jangle. "I can't even jingle. That is why they call me Jingle Jangle. All I do is nothing." "That's not true. You do kind things for others and are very thoughtful," I replied. "But I don't have a jingle," cried Jingle. "The most important thing is that you are you," I said. "God made you special, just the way you are." "Markie, I have heard you talk about Jesus so many times when I was hiding in the forest, and I wish I had a soul and a heart like you so I could have Jesus in my heart too," said Jingle Jangle as he looked away. "I know, Jangle," I continued. "But remember again, you are just the way God planned. You lie back now and rest. And maybe after a while, you will feel like going for a walk with me, and I will help you meet some more new friends, okay?" "Okay."
That's the end of side one, boys and girls. Turn your tape over now for the rest of the story.
While Jingle Jangle was asleep, I called a town meeting and told the children what had happened to our bell and Jingle Jangle's sad story. The children agreed with me that we wanted Jingle Jangle to stay and live in Sugartown with us. We decided the best place for him to live would be in the hollow tree next to my house. And since it was such a great big tree house, it would be perfect for a bear to live in. We made a sign that read, "Welcome," for his new house. As we were tacking and hammering it up on the trunk, we could see that the Jingle Bears were peeking around through the forest. I called for them to come out. "It's okay," I said. "We aren't angry at you. In fact, we are kind of glad you took our chapel bell." "You are?" they questioned. "Yes," I said. "Now we have a new friend, and you are here just in time to help us celebrate to welcome him to his new home. We have decided to let Jingle Jangle stay and live in Sugartown. He is so kind, and he doesn't feel like he belongs with you." Right about that time, we heard an unusual noise. Kind of a jingle and a jumping noise coming from my house. "What is that?" asked someone. "I don't know, but let's find out," I said, poking my head in through the window. "Would you look at that? This is just too good to be true," I said excitedly. Everyone crowded to look through the window, and out through the door walked, or should I say jingled, and bounced, Jingle Jangle. "Markie!" he shouted in between jumps. "What you said was true. I needed to be happy with who I am, and God would make me just who He wanted me to be. Now I have a jingle. Isn't it terrific?" The other Jingle Bears were so surprised that they ran off to hide. They were also very ashamed for stealing the bell, and now they wouldn't have their sneak attackers, so they weren't too happy about this whole situation. It was quite a long time before they were seen in Sugartown again. But the fun had only just begun for Jingle Jangle. We figured that he needed a new name now that he had a jingle. Since he was so happy and jumping for joy, we thought we should name him Jingle Joy. I remembered one thing he had wanted, and that was a heart. Although I couldn't give him a real heart, and Jesus couldn't live in his heart because he was an animal, not a person, I did have an idea. I ran into my house for a moment and returned with something in my hand for Jingle Joy. I put my arm around him and said, "You have found the real joy in your own life today. That God has made you specially you. And now I want to give you something to remember that you are loved, and to remind all of us that you do have a loving heart and show such kindness." I opened my hand and showed him a beautiful, sparkly red heart pin. I pinned it on his sweatshirt. Jingle Joy jumped and bounced from child to child, hugging and squeezing as he went around. When he finally finished, he hopped back to me and threw his furry little arms around me and said, "I love you so much. I just don't know what to say." As he turned around, to everyone's surprise, his heart pin was flashing off and on. You don't have to say anything. You will always be reminded of your joy and happiness. And then I pointed to the heart pin. Your flashing heart will be a reminder to all of us of your love and kindness. We all went inside the chapel and ended our wonderful day thanking God for our new friend. I told the children in Jingle Joy a Bible story about the love of Jesus and how we should always be happy with who we are and not to try to be someone else. We all sang together in sweet harmony.
Lil Markie prayed that evening, thanking God for his new special friend before he went to sleep. A new companion to hug and play with, to be his buddy and to make him laugh. As he sat looking out into the moonlight night, glancing at the hollow tree house, which was now Jingle Joy's new home, Markie was reminded that God wasn't finished working on him yet either. every day Marky can see how he was growing and learning to love God in a new and special way. And you know, boys and girls, God isn't finished working on you either. God loves you, and you are very, very special to Him and to each of us here in Sugartown. See you next time in our next Sugartown adventure. Bye!
Bye-bye. On an island in the Tiki Sea, there lives a group of bears. Not the ordinary ones, because they jingle everywhere. They are every kind of size and shape. Some are short and some are tall. But the thing that makes them just